Welcome to another video on Back of the Net, and I'm joined by Cherries fan Tom Jordon. Mate, how are you?
Yeah, I'm alright considering. Not too bad.
You're alright?
Yeah, I'm alright.
Well, we took in your 5-word match reports after the game, and it's going to be a bit different because we're going to go through them, and I'll be chatting to Tom along the way to see what he thinks about a few of the comments that were submitted. AFCB M2 THEC said extra day's rest for Saturday. Boscombe St John's lad, he submitted a few. Faith in Eddie is waning. Injuries have ruined our season, but also Francis is not a Premiership player or Premier League. What are your thoughts on Frano? Because once again, Eddie decided to use him last night, and that baffled me once again.
Yeah, it was a bit baffling. I feel for Frano because he's been such a great servant to the club, and saying he isn't a Premier League player, it's tough because he's done it for us in previous seasons. But I just think his legs are gone. I think the Wolves game proved it, and to chuck him in, I kind of understood what he was trying to do, but then you'd bring Stacey on, you don't bring Frano on. I couldn't understand it whatsoever chasing the game, but.
No, interesting. There's some posts. That will probably be, will it be Eddie Howe's letter to tell him to get out of the club? No, it won't. A lot of people have been saying Howe out on the Facebook forums and stuff, and it's just like, come on, that's a little bit premature, I think. Thankfully on Twitter, I don't think many people have said it. There's been a few dissenting voices, but most people are still somehow staying level-headed. Where is my gin bottle, said Ross Devonport. Cheers for doing the video earlier today, Ross. Louis, who had 10 men there? Jordan said 5 words is not enough. Jamie Williams, fundamental issues with the team. And Martin Burridge said championship winning spirit has gone. And this is what we were touching on earlier. In a way, although they're not technically as good, those kind of players that brought us up, Mark Pugh, Charlie Daniels, even Andrew Sermon at times, you kind of look at Brett Pittman, you're looking at those players and thinking, wouldn't it have been good to have at least their spirit back in the side? Because we seem redundant at the moment.
Yeah, I think it's the spirit, and I think it's also kind of that way of that Eddie wants to play. I think they all bought into it, and it was so key in the first couple of seasons, and now we've got a lot of players that, like you said, are probably technically better, but they don't seem to get it, and we're losing that identity and way of playing. And like I said to you earlier, Brett Pittman would be getting minutes right now, and he's not always starting for Portsmouth, and that says it all really. But yeah, we're certainly losing that identity, which is a bit of a worry.
Yeah, that's one of my sort of things that I really regret and feel sad about. It would have been great if he had got some Premier League minutes, wouldn't it? Because he would have bagged a few goals, I'm sure.
He'll bag a few goals in any level. Yeah. He would, because that's what he is. He's a goal scorer. So. Yeah,
shame Callum Wilson in at the moment, but I'm sure we'll move on to him. A month of relegation form, said Murky. How to cancel Amazon Prime. That's Craig. One word for that, said Simon. Troubled. Yeah, agreed. Callum Wilson, Bournemouth's lost sheep. He's not doing great at the moment. Can you put your finger on what's going on?
No. I really can't. I don't know what's happening. I mean, last few weeks it couldn't have helped losing Josh King, because I think he brings a lot out of him, and we've seen now how important King is when he's not in the team. But don't put that all on Solanke. I think as much as he's been poor, he's still worked hard, and Callum hasn't done enough. But I can't really put my finger on it. The runs aren't as good. Probably isn't getting a great amount of service, but I don't think he was at the start of the season. But he always works hard and finds where the net is, and for some reason it's just not happening for him at the moment. And now I think confidence is a big issue. Every game I don't feel like he believes he's going to score, whereas the old Callum, I used to think he knows he'll get a goal.
Isn't it quite scary? Say for instance, centre midfield, got Philip Billing, Jefferson Lerma, Dan Gosling, Lewis Cook, even Andrew Sermon. You look at up front, you think we are short of options, especially when there's an injury. What choice have we got? I mean, recall Surridge. This quite scary, really.
Should we offer Sheffield United 15 million for Mooset? I mean, we looked at it.
Oh my god!
When we sold him, I thought, well, he's fourth choice. He's not going to get a game, and I mean, fair play to him. But we are short of options. I mean, recalling Surridge, I guess, would be an option. Yeah. But if it's one of them things, if King and Wilson have been firing, we wouldn't be talking about this. And last season a lot of it was that Fraser-Wilson combination, and both of them are so below par, it's unbelievable, and that has affected a lot.
Yeah, it's not often that lots of factors combined, that lots of poor factors combined. It's just it's a sort of myriad of factors that have led us to where we are today. Watch us win on Saturday, said Kerry. Worse than the Wolves match, Tim. Embarrassing, shambolic, pathetic, Clueless, shameful, said AD. Bloody hell. What the fuck was that, said Gavin Peacock Gillet. Robbie, cheers for that, mate. Walking, yeah, we talked about this yesterday. Tommy Heffernan's Poodle, superb exhibition of walking football. Not enough beer to forget, said Mike. When's the next win coming? Worst performance of the season, said Danny. Do you expect anything in the next, say, 2 matches, Liverpool and Chelsea?
Expect? No, definitely not. You never know. We could pull out a shot result, nick a point, but the way we're playing, definitely not.
No.
If Eddie gets them in and we play how we know we can play, then of course we can nick something. But the way we're playing right now, not a hope in hell. And saw someone mention there about worst performance of the season. After the Wolves game, especially obviously the first half in particular, I said that's the worst I've seen us in the Premier League, and it was just beaten last night. And I can't believe how quickly that changed. I mean, it is worrying.
Yeah, that was truly fucking diabolical. Gary Chapman praying for 3 worst teams, says Tim. Line in the sand, said Longy. Heading back to the Championship, said Lewis. Probably a little bit premature. I do think there are 3 worst teams. Glad I missed this one, said Patrick. I mean, I could go. I don't know how long this is going to go on for, but let's just go through a few of them. Nathan Ake deserves much better. That was Tim again. Michael, we need Jordan Ibe back. Would you, Tom? Thoughts?
No, it's not that bad.
Yeah. To the point from Tom Jordon there. We need Mark Pugh back.
Yes, we always need Mark Pugh back.
Yeah. What's happened to my team, said Nobby Dog. I agree. The identity's gone. We was just talking just now. The identity has been lost. We sort of. I really miss those reckless football, like overlapping, ploughing players forward. It would be one of those sort of your type of affairs where we would score 5 and another team scored 3. We'd always try to outscore the opposition, but we just don't seem to be playing in that free-flowing way anymore.
No, like we were saying then, it's really odd because we used to moan for different reasons. So I remember, I think it was, we went to Old Trafford once and we had Junior Stanislas in the middle of midfield in a 4-4-2. And then last night, we've got 2 defensive midfield players against 10 men. It's really bizarre that, like you say, Eddie was always that really offensive and probably too offensive.
Yeah.
And now you'd say the only thing that looks slightly better is defensively.
Yeah.
But going forward, we've lost everything.
Yeah,
it is really bizarre. But I don't know why Eddie's tweaked it so much in that way. No, I really don't understand it.
The writing was on the wall yesterday. I thought we're just actually watching the game in the background here, and it's it's the early stages. So kind of like the match at Spurs, we were doing relatively all right. Just had no cutting edge. Please play 4-5-1, said Michael. Lucy, wish I watched the Jungle. Refrigeration Red, shoot and you might score. Eddie got it wrong again, said Alan. What the fuck was that? Said AFC Biffa. That's Colin. Cheers, mate. Eddie got it wrong again. Is he the man to get it right?
Of course he is.
Yeah.
Of course he is. Yeah, he got it wrong. You can't, Eddie makes mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. And I don't think the team selection was too bad. He had a few injuries. And I didn't go into the game thinking, what's that team?
Yeah.
There isn't a great deal of options. But when they go down to 10 men at half time, 60 minutes, something had to change. We were so poor.
Yeah.
And the changes he made were baffling.
Well, it was after that they had 3 runs through on goal, like, unchallenged. And obviously it was the third one where they scored. But Zaha went in and Mepham fouled. Well, not fouled, but, a strong push. Someone else, Jordan Ayew, I think, went through. And then only moments later, it was that goal from Schlupp, and Chris Mepham tried to show him out wide, but Ramsdale at fault there?
At fault's a bit harsh. I think he could have done a little bit better.
Yeah.
I think as a goalkeeper, he'll be disappointed. He'll feel like he could. I mean, he's made much better saves than that.
Yeah.
He's been amazing for us. You could make a case for him being our player of the season so far. But yeah, I think he probably would feel like he could have done a bit better. But I think in the lead up to that goal, there were many more mistakes than that. I think Mepham backed off too much.
Yeah.
To be honest with
you. Elsewhere, Eddie Howe, next Everton manager. Would they even want him, Tim? Not sure. No creativity, width or shot, says David. The dream is over. That's 4 words, Ollie, but you did put a smiley in, I'll give you that. Dan Cave, how can we only lose 3-2 to Tottenham and get turned over by 10 men? That's about 12 words, Dan. What are you doing? That was really fucking shite, said Stephen. Third rate play means trouble. Best not to say anything. Sideways and backwards a lot. We've lost our way. Bring back Groves and Brooks. You're having a laugh, Ben. Let's introduce performance-related play, said Mel. Yeah, interesting. Looking forward to championship football, said Paul Wright. Relegation, it's not going to happen, is it?
I don't think so. Yeah. I mean, you never say never. And look, if we keep playing the way we played last night, well, of course, we'll go down. We will go down, but I don't think we will. No. Ultimately, I think over the course of the season, there'll be 3, if not more, teams worse than us. But right now, we're one of the 3 worst teams in the Premier League over the last few weeks, no doubt about it.
Yeah. Where's the attacking flair gone? Michael again. Solanke, still don't see it. There's another player ratings video coming up on YouTube, so we'll talk about Solanke and others on that, I'm sure. Far too slow, said Nick. Played like a training match. It couldn't get worse. Frano, play Monday nights. Kids, Saturday, get your checkbook out. So, interesting comments there. With regards to Saturday, I mean, is it a chance for to experiment, or do you think we should be sticking to our principles? And well, our principles haven't got us far in the last few games, but what do you think we should be doing? Changes are needed.
Experiment, I wouldn't say. I would say the first name on the team sheet for me would be Dan Gosling.
Yeah, I agree.
I think not only is he a good player, he'll work his socks off. He'll show all the others this is what it means to play for Bournemouth. He also makes them runs and gets nearer to the front 2 or front 1, depending on how we play. But I would like to see us just go with 3 up top of pace, and then get Goz in there, get Lerma in there, and just try and be really, really hard to beat. Work hard. But there's not a lot of options we can do at the moment with the injuries. It's certainly not an excuse, because we should have a good enough squad and we should be performing like we did last night. But there aren't a lot of options to change it at the moment. But, with Smithy looking like he took a knock as well, we will see Frano in. I do think Francis will start, which is a real concern.
Do you think he'll go... He's done 5 at the back before. It never bloody works for us. I think once against Man City, where we just lost by that one goal, that Mahrez goal, that was probably the best we've done with 5 at the back. I think Jack Simpson came in that one. I can't remember. But... he will put Frano, if we do go 5 at the back, he will put Frano in, won't he? 100%.
He will, and obviously a lot of this depends on Steve Cook as well. If Steve Cook's back, I think he'll probably go for a 5 at the back. Not sure if he would if he wasn't, because that would mean either a Mepham or Jack Simpson being one of the 3. I'm not sure. He could just play Frano as the right back if Smith's out. But I'd rather see Stacey.
And then we got, obviously, Harry Wilson's not going to be able to play. So, what on earth? Dan Juma, I suppose Dan Juma and Fraser would it be? I mean, what other options have we got?
Unless King's back, I don't know how far away he is. It will have to be them two. If we play with wide men, like I say, unless he plays with a 5 and then kind of a 3 in the midfield and Solanke and Wilson up top, but he's rarely done that. So I would have thought it'd be Dan Juma and Fraser.
Yeah, all become clear on Friday, I suppose, in the press conference when we know who's fit and who's not. Really hoping that Steve Cook's wrist or whatever he's done to it will be all right. And also Josh King as well. Please come back, mate. David Brooks, hurry up, man. We're really missing you. But yeah, let us know what you thought in 5 words or more in the comments. Really would love to hear what you got to say. And stay tuned, subscribe, because there's more videos on the way analysing that and also previewing the Liverpool match. I'm also going to be on the Red Men TV, the Liverpool fan channel, tomorrow or the day after, doing a preview on there too, so do check them out as well. I'll pop the link in the description. Until then, up the Cherries. Back in the day!